Right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, infidels. I'm going to do a review of a different person that I normally attack, which is this idiot Daft Dawkins, right? But this time I've been researching. Somebody asked me to review somebody else, but as a consequence, I was doing some other stuff, and I saw this idiot talking about the Rapture, right? And it was so funny and so mental that I wanted to share with you. Oh, by the way, I've got a green screen behind me, so it's just a little bit of a change. Okay, let's transition. Right, okay. Right, so for all you know, down here, my name is Oscar. Also look up for number 1 in the interweb. Right, this is the first time I've seen this guy. Okay, he's an army veteran. I think he's a veteran, but he's definitely a Marine. So he knows his stuff. Okay, but he's talking about religion. So that means he hasn't been productive to society, and now he's probably in retirement or whatever, and he's making some bullshit. Okay, so without further ado, let's watch this guy, yeah?
Hey everybody, JB here. Welcome to the shed.
Right, just out of the bat, I'm assuming that the guy has been in the Marines. He's got a rifle with a optic scope, and it's got some sights. So he definitely is a shooter, right? So just bear that in mind.
I'm going to bring a message and I'm going to call this the Rapture Myopia. Ooh, weird. What kind of word is that? Well, let me start the video by giving you, what would it be? Merriam-Webster's definition.
Yeah, just get on with it.
Myopia. Number 1, it's a condition in which the visual images come to a focus in front of the retina.
Okay.
In defective vision of distant objects. Nearsightedness. She wears glasses to correct her myopia. Okay, how about number 2? Numero 20. A lack of foresight or discernment. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A lack of foresight or discernment. A lack of foresight.
Yeah, okay, a lack of foresight or discernment. We got that.
Or discernment.
You see what I mean?
Okay. Let's talk about the Rapture
It's about discernment. So basically, it's a mental state, not a visual state. Idiot.
Myopia. A lack of foresight.
Lack of foresight is just that you don't have. You don't know what's going to happen.
Or discernment.
But to put a graphic about the eye problem, instead of referring to the second one, which is his main subject, that tells you a hell of a lot.
Let the Lord speak through us.
So then it's therefore, if you read in the Bible, it is you fucking reading it, not somebody, not the character in the book. If you read the Lords of the Ring, right, you are the one reading it. You just interpreting what it says in the story. Twat.
And to us. I want to read a Bible verse because it wouldn't be the shed if I didn't read out of the Bible. And we're going to talk about this Rapture Myopia.
Yeah, but it's discernment. It's got nothing to do with eyesight.
Reading out of my King James Version. I'm reading in Philippians chapter 2.
Right. Philippians. According to who wrote it, or allegedly wrote it.
And verse 11 and following. And that every tongue should confess that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Not God, just Lord, yeah?
To the glory of God the Father. That's kind of the conclusion of this benediction.
So basically you're saying that we have to confess that Jesus Christ is Lord to the glory of the Father. Okay.
That Paul was giving, and that every tongue should confess.
Right. But who is it saying it to? Right. It's not saying it to us. It's saying to the Philippians. Idiot.
We know that Jesus Christ is Lord. We claim that.
No, you don't claim it. Somebody who was a Pharisee allegedly wrote it to a town. You just took it over. You just stole it from them.
Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Wherefore, for that reason, my beloved, as you have always obeyed,
the Philippians, right? Philippians.
Not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence.
That was because allegedly Paul had a freaking sword, right? He used to be a persecutor of Christians, right? Took it to the Romans to be killed, right? That's the irony behind it, okay? So now he's saying you're obeying because I'm present, but sometimes you're going to be obeying when I'm not present, in my absence.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Right, this guy said it, right? Work out your salvation with fear and trembling. That's a dictatorship, right? I don't want to be saved from a North Korea dictatorship or celestial North Korea. And this guy was an army, right? This guy was a Marine. That's the sad part of it. Seriously, that is the sad part. It's like this U.S. Marine obeying a North Korea dictator. It's that simple. And correct me if I'm wrong.
For it is God which works in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
His good pleasure. Never mind yourself. Fuck you as a human being, right? And this idiot is saying that we have to obey for the pleasure of the main man, aka God the Father. Right? Celestial dictatorship. He's advocating for dictatorship. And he's okay. He's cool with that.
So this is one of those verses that immediately gets tossed into the clothes hamper. Or not the dirty one, but maybe a clean one. Or
why refer to a dumper? It's because it's bullshit. Yeah, it is bullshit. You Marine, right? You're not going for a democracy. You're going for celestial dictatorship for his own fucking pleasure. Never mind you fighting for we the people, or in this case you, because I'm British, right? But you the people, fuck it. Okay, constitution. There's no constitution in a dictatorship, and you are loving it.
Or gets thrown into the back of the closet
for good fucking reason.
Never to be seen again. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That doesn't sound like fun. That
Of course not. It is a dictatorship. Plain and simple.
doesn't sound like a blessing. That doesn't sound like a Joel Osteen uh, suggestion.
No, because he's about all fucking sugarcoating and talking about the good stuff, right? That's the reason. He's a far better interlocutor than you are in a fucking million years, right? He talks bullshit in a better style.
At a Joel Osteen weekend, where they take in nearly $1 million a weekend, which that doesn't even sound anything like Christianity, but that's another topic.
Do you think he's doing it for Christianity, you idiot? Are you that fucking naive?
But it's the truth. It says right here in my Bible.
It doesn't say nothing about Joel Osteen in your Bible, retard.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God which works in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
His good pleasure. So basically, now you don't have any say in the matter. Now you are fucking puppet. Okay? You just fucking... He's pulling the strings to make himself happy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? You are, by your own admission, okay, as a Marine, to live in North Korea for that dictator to manipulate your will for his fucking pleasure. Good or bad pleasure. Good pleasure could be something bad. Because you don't know what is good for him. Or for her or for it. Right? A dictatorship could have... You can think the worst thing in the world and it could be good for him. And you are advocating that. You are okay with it. That's really the sad part, and that is why I'm making this video, to call you out. Okay? You talking out of your rear, and you're infecting people as a consequence.
So why is it that we want to do that? Because we're Christians.
No, because you're gullible, right? Some people got they are weak-minded, and people in power or intelligent or whatever or manipulative, right? Change their frame of mind, and tossers like you are helping it. You are the cause of the fucking problem. Yeah, you are molding people to be malleable, right? And you are causing a detriment to society by the leaders manipulating that character of the human. It is your fucking problem. You're part of the problem, in my opinion.
And how is it that we're going to
God damn it
not be a part of this rapture myopia?
Stop fucking talking nonsense. That's how you stop it.
Well, by doing this, by coming to the shed and discussing these things, by being interested, and by reading and studying our Bible. And then, most of all, by accepting and receiving that it is God which works in you every minute and every second of every minute and every minute of every hour and every hour.
Yeah, every minute, we get it.
Of every day and every day of every week and every week of every month.
Wow. Impressive.
And if necessary, every month of every year. And every year of every decade and every decade of every century. Because that's what we do.
No. That's what idiots like you train people to be gullible. So thank you fucking very much.
So the rapture myopia, got some green tea here, almost. The rapture myopia is, in my humble opinion, a direct parallel of the great apostasy. We see that this apostasy was able to form and take place because people that called themselves Christians just became lazy and decadent and interested mostly in the world.
Interest in the world? We live in the natural world, you retard. You have to use it. Right? What are you talking about? You're talking nonsense.
Of course, they wanted to live a good life and save some money and go to Disney World, once a year, and go to Florida, go to the beach.
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Seriously.
And da 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 da. But suddenly you have now in America, and maybe other countries too, or I would say most definitely other countries too, because the several that I could speak on.
Listen, I lost you. Seriously, I lost you. You're talking so much fucking nonsense that I don't know where the plot is.
But won't. They're going through hard times too. And
what is that got to do with being entertained? Yeah, how do you work that one out? So somebody that works hard cannot have pleasure in going to the places that they want. No? What do they need to do? Fucking read your fucking bullshit Bible?
They're under the same Luciferian leadership as us. It just seems odd for us because we have the Constitution, supposedly.
I don't get it. What's that got to do with Disneyland?
So the rapture myopia, lack of discernment or a lack of foresight, is simply laziness and a sincere desire to have a whole bunch of the world, a lot of the world, 99.9% of the world, and 1/10 of 1% Christianity. And that just suits us fine, right? We'll just know that when we turn 150, we'll be in our rocking chair.
150? What the hell are you talking about?
One day, and then the Lord will just take us to heaven. And that's the kind of Christianity we want.
Spoiler alert to you, retard. Did you know that before allegedly your man-made story, that God did not have any religion, right? And then some Jews wrote some stuff in the Torah, and it says, okay, this is our God. Okay, and then some other people made another religion, aka Christians, right? And then the same God that created that was without any affiliation, then became Jew, then became Christian. You're talking about the same fucking guy changing shirt. It's like you going from North America to North Korea. That was funny.
And the only thing wrong with that is that God won't allow that. And so he tells us that this apostasy has to come and that it will come. And we see now here from the shed that it did come. There's nothing left of anyone today that associates themselves with any form of organized religion is a fool. That's what I say, and I'm glad.
That's why you idiots have got more than 3,000 Christian denominations, because you guys cannot get their shit together, and you don't want to be part of a structure that you want to put to make your own fucking religion. It's called the Christian shed religion, right? You want another piece of the cake.
I said that because it brings up this. I try to do as much study as I can every day to make my videos more interesting. And I'm reminded
Now you're making it more retard.
now that I did, even though I had 4 kids all day, tried to kill me. No, they don't. I love my grandkids so much. They just wear me out, though. They got so much energy. But I was able to study, and I looked a bit online at religions of the world. And lo and behold, I mean, I knew there were a lot, but I had no idea.
Why do you think is that? Right? Why do you think there's so many fucking religions? Right? Even in Christianity, not just religions, but denominations. Okay, they're astronomical. Why? Because people in your fucking neck of the woods, you are making your own religion, right? Or your own denomination, because you studied, right?
I had, and you may have no idea. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of religions currently. Now, that only really becomes interesting when you begin to understand where those religions come from, and that the devil's always bringing things.
What are you talking about? The devil, you freaking retard.
Into the view of people's minds by saying things like, well, Moses, and he just wrote about other religions that were, the pagan religions that were around them. So he just drew most of his ideas, those crazy ideas about God on the mountain and a burning bush. And they just made all those things up based by what they heard from other religions. Well, there's a lot of.
No, the problem is that you think is that Moses wrote it. Show me a Bible or a chapter that says according to Moses. Right? There's none. You know why there's none? Because it's been fucking made up by Bronze Age analphabet, ignorant people, goat holders or goat fuckers. That's why.
Problems with that. I won't go into that, but I
told you
how many religions there are because of our focus and the fact that we're avoiding that myopia, that nearsightedness, or that lack of foresight, lack of discernment by having our Bible open. And our Bible tells us that we're to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling, because
now work out your own salvation. He's talking to the Philippians. It's not to us. Yet you read the story of a letter written to somebody else.
God is working in us both to will.
Basically, what you're doing is reading a hearsay, technically.
And do of his good pleasure. So if you're a highly intellectual sort of person like me, I'm being facetious.
I know.
Well, then you quickly come to realize that if I have my Bible open and I'm working out my salvation with fear and trembling, and God is working in me both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
Excuse me, sir. Did you just realize what you just said? Right? So, a North Korea dictatorship, right, is working through you for his pleasure. I hope you understand the stupidity of that concept. And if you listen to me, I want you to respond about the stupidity what you just said. Okay? Celestial dictatorship is working through you for his pleasure. Do you understand? Okay? Do you understand what you just said? Or no, what you said, what you're acknowledging.
Then what do I have to how could I ever fall into a myopia, or how could I ever fall into a lack of foreknowledge? The only way that could happen is the opposite way, by closing my Bible, putting it back on the shelf, maybe going to church once a month or a couple times a year, convincing myself that I'm a good person,
You can be a good person without reading any Bible or any religious book, technically.
and swallowing up as much of the world as I can possibly afford.
What? Can you not make your own decisions? Are you not autonomous? I don't know.
And always working to get more.
Working to get more. Okay, we unfortunately we live in that type of society that I want to work to get more. Well, don't you?
Well, the answer to that is right in front of us.
Yeah, it's called work more.
If you're working out your own salvation with fear and trembling, then it never comes to.
Remember, you're talking about salvation. First of all, you have to establish that the God exists in the first place, right? And the only reason you know exists because you read it in the fucking Bible, which you're already using a circularity there, right? Not just to burst your bubble, okay? And then it was written in the Bronze Age, and I don't think it was written by the authors that is stated in the Bible. They were written by Greeks, in my opinion. Okay, because the literature is quite clear. Not quite clear. I'm looking with good grammatical structure, right? And in those days, the followers of the so-called Jesus Christ were peasants. Yeah, a couple of people here, there, whatever, with some sort of knowledge, like a doctor. If you want to call a physician there a doctor, that's okay. That's a little bit relative, okay. But at the end of the day, they were ignorant people, okay. And you are stipulating that what they wrote down is from people that just finished fishing.
uh, Fulfillment. And you are always trying. I was trying to look at the moon with this old
You're trying to look at the moon with an optic sight, okay, with a rifle optic sight.
telescope,
That's not telescope.
and I was focusing on the moon and noticing that it's, you can get a couple good glimpses, but it's always moving because you're holding it in your hand.
Well, that's an ignorant statement in your part, right? Because you got a fucking rifle there. You can put a tripod or a bipod, fixed it to a hard surface, and then point it. And guess what? You're gonna have good vision according to the range of the scope. But you are giving a stupid analogy.
But at the same time, I realized I could see the moon a lot better through that telescope than with my old antique eyes.
It's not not precisely. Okay, it's just that we got limitations, and the technology has advanced enough that we can use optics to get nearer visually, right? Using optics. That's it. No big deal there.
So, how was I better able to discern what the moon looks like tonight with that telescope? How am I able to work out my salvation with fear and trembling with my Bible open?
So a dictator, this is your ignorance. Okay, you're equating looking to an external source, aka the moon, right, to discern whatever you can see there. Okay, I don't know what you're gonna fucking know because you're not astronomer. Okay, so that's not here nor there what you actually fucking see. You're just gonna see the moon closer, period. Right? You cannot establish any type of investigation, any type of inquiry or anything like that, apart from what you can actually see. Right? And we can see it like this, very small, and then in the optics you're gonna see it a little bit bigger. Period. Okay, and then you're gonna equate that with the Bible. Oh, to have more discernment, read the Bible. That's circular argument. Okay, you old fella. Okay, so to understand better the bullshit, you're gonna read the Bible. That's the cause of the problem.
And when my Bible is open and I'm working out my salvation with fear and trembling, and I'm recognizing and acknowledging that it is God that works in us both to will and do of his good pleasure.
Again, you said that a few times. The problem is you. The problem is the fucking preachers, right? And only the gullible would believe the bullshit that you're saying. Okay, you are a North Korea dictator lover, right? And you should be ashamed of being a Marine. Okay, because you're gonna serve and protect we the people, not we the dictatorship. Right? So you switched bands from loving your own countrymen to loving a celestial dictatorship. Well fucking done. Well fucking done.
Do you think for 1 minute God wants us to be standing around?
It doesn't matter what you think. It is absolutely fucking irrelevant if it is for his own fucking pleasure. What part you do not get in your fucking stupid narrow-minded? Okay, talking about fucking myopia, right? Narrow-mindedness is worse. Narrow-mindedness is worse. What?
On earth when he pours out his judgment?
His judgment about being a bully, a celestial bully.
Well, if we read the Bible, we know no, he doesn't. And we discern the Bible and we have foreknowledge and we know that's for Israel. That's promised to them who to this day deny Jesus Christ.
That's shut the fuck up. You do you know why they refuse Jesus Christ? Okay, the reason being, and let me educate you. Okay, let me educate you. The reason being is because the Jew, right? Israel is a Jew state. It's a religious denomination, right? And according to the Jews, there's only one God. And Jesus was a prophet or Messiah. That's it. Right? You got it wrong. You're talking about Christianity, which is after Jesus. You reading the Bible make you more ignorant, funny enough. And I am the atheist. And you're talking nonsense.
Deny the gospel.
They're not No, they're not denying the gospel. What you mean? The good word of the Old Testament. Are you for fucking real? No. To date, they're obeying it. Why? Because they're fucking Jewish. You retard.
But they are still his chosen people.
Yeah, Israel. You dumbass.
And he is
Romans. Who wrote that? Right? Paul, apparently. And who was Paul? A fucking Jew. Okay? He's writing to the Romans about Abraham. Dumbass.
going to do what he has already said he's going to do. It's the time of Jacob's trouble. It has nothing to do with the church. And that if we were here,
There were no churches. Probably most temples or synagogues or whatever.
it would be like being, I don't try to draw this analogy from the Bible references, but it would be like trying to have two wives.
You mean two religions? Yeah, Judaism and Christianism. Is that what you're saying?
One would always feel that they're getting more attention than the other.
And not really. Not really. That's what Paul was there for. To enforce Judaism, right? By killing Christians at the beginning because he was a Pharisee. Sort of like a Jewish police of sorts. Okay? He was actually... no, I can say better. He was a bounty hunter for the Jews. Right? Capturing Christians. Hey, there you are. Look at that. Right? He was good at it. Right? He was good at it. He was knowledgeable on the Jewish law.
And God isn't going to do that. He has told us.
He hasn't told you shit.
But how has he?
Hold on. Tell me how he says something to you. God told us. Where? Oh, hold on. Are you reading the fucking Bible? You mean the Jewish side, i.e. the Old Testament? Or are you using the Christian side after Jesus' death? Or allegedly. I'm talking about, I'm entertaining the notion of the characters there.
He told us. Are you suffering from the rapture myopia? Or are
you suffering from your bullshitology?
You clearly and cleanly discerning the gospel of God and his...
The gospel of God. What? The Jewish God or the Christian God? Which one?
Holy truth, and able to say no. I think JB and others, many others, many others have it right. Though we have to be taken out of the way so that God can and will, so that God will fulfill his Bible prophecy with his chosen people, the Israelites.
If you said chosen people, that sounds very much like Calvinism, right? It's a dictatorship. Yeah, I choose these people, fuck the rest. You okay with that? Let's say North Korea, we say, which is a dictatorship, let's say, okay, my people, I take care of it, but the United States, I'm going to bomb them. Right? You are advocating for that. That's what you're saying. Okay, you're saying that God chose a certain people. Fine. What do you reckon what is wrong with that? Right? He chose the Israelites and the rest of the world, go and fuck yourself. Very fucking intelligent of you. Your narrow-minded is mind-boggling.
But we ain't gonna be here.
What's that got to do with it?
And that's Bible discernment. And that's working out your salvation with fear and trembling. And that's recognizing that God is going to do through us what he wills.
That's the fourth time you said that, you idiot. right? And you still don't fucking get it, right? If I do whatever the fuck I want for my pleasure and I'm manipulating you, are you cool with that? Because I don't give a fuck about you. Remember, it is my pleasure that I dictate whatever the fuck I want with you. And you have to put that smug in your fucking face and says, it's his pleasure. What part you don't get?
And this is like a finely tuned, clear vision.
Bullshit. Finely tuned, clear vision. You just said that you could not see properly because you were moving. And now you're using the scope as a reference of a sharp vision. It is only as good as sharp as it's being stable. I used to be in the British Army, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay? So you're being intellectually dishonest in that sense. Right? For you to use an optic, you have to be really rigid. Right? And, nah.
Okay? Sharp image. It's not distorted and blurry. And
that's only for adjustments. Okay? Once you do that, the optics stays always sharp because you regulate it for your own sight. Okay, it's just the mirrors, not the mirrors, the lenses are just opening and closing a little bit, right? It's called zeroed. It is zero for you. Okay, so the way you look at it at the scope could be different to me. So if I get your rifle, right, and shoot down the range, right, I might the weapon might be off target, off center, for whatever the fucking place is. It's because it's not being fine tuned to me. Okay, that's an ignorant way of saying it.
Changing like a kaleidoscope. Remember?
Bullshit. That's not how the scope works. You're being dishonest, which I'm not surprised to any fucking Christian apologist.
Remember those things? You turn it around. And when you're a kid and it has all these things. Ooh. No. And that is what I clearly testify to. 14 years of study.
14 years of study, you're still talking a lot of fucking bullshit. Well fucking done. Yeah? Talking about myopia and you're fucking narrow-minded.
And the great falling away, or this great apostasy, came about as a result of laziness and worldly people.
Laziness. Worldly people. You mean leaders? What, like your president of the United States? You're not grasping what you're saying. Unfortunately, we have to work for a living, right? And there are people who are better off than others and are able to exploit it because they control some sort of some type of resources. Simple. What part of control makes you lazy?
If you want to call them Christians, go ahead.
What about being lazy or being in a leadership position is got nothing to do with Christianity? You're off your rockers, man. You're mental.
But the point is this: they are churchgoers.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Right? What? Churchgoers? So what? You think the only people that are religious are the Christians and have to go to church?
So if everyone's welcome, I always say this in all my videos, if everybody's welcome, that means the devil's welcome too.
Hold on.
And cousin, they...
Are you talking about these ladies being the devil? Really?
They will come in. And now you got the devil in your church.
How do you identify who the devil is? What, by the fucking horns? Or are you finger pointing you as the devil? Well, could I say that you look like a fucking devil? Is that how you discriminate? By finger pointing somebody? So, oh, that looks like a fucking devil to me. Is that how you work?
And the devil's going to get on the church board.
The devils. Oh, this lady here. Yeah, or this old lady here. Yeah, or the three gray men. Or this lady here. Is she the devil? Or is that how the devil looks like? Yeah? People that are in leadership are devils. In your point of view.
And now the devil's sitting on the church board. And now you got this, that, and the other thing.
Why couldn't we say that the devil has infiltrated you and you talking out of your fucking ass? We could say that, right? Yeah? You are a fake Marine. Right? You got a fake fucking rifle there. You probably poked into the onto those target with a fucking pen. Do you understand the analogy? Right? It's not. I'm not saying that you're not a Marine. What I'm saying is I can use the same analogy to accuse you of being a fake Marine. Do you understand how dangerous that is? Due to your ignorance.
But what you don't have is holy worship. So that's 50 years ago. And where we are today in June of 2022 is some of us have been gifted with this discernment.
No, you've been gifted with bullshit. Okay? To convince the gullible of your storytelling.
And this spiritual gift of prophecy to say,
oh, so you are a prophet. Interesting. Okay? So arrogant as well as intellectually dishonest.
We don't know when, we don't know the day or the hour, but sisters, we're close. We have to be close.
Why sisters? Why not brothers? Oh, you think women are dumb and you're trying to convince them?
Because of the widespread myopia regarding everything. Satan is most happiest when you just give up and go back to work and never mind anyway, and whatever will be will be, and if God wants me, he can come and get me, and da 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 da. And then Satan is happy.
You just made a claim. Prove that Satan exists in the first place.
But if we turn to one Bible verse and we say, every tongue confesses that Jesus Christ is Lord. Yeah, we do. And we proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord.
No, that's what Paul said to the Philippians. You're just repeating what somebody else wrote.
To the glory of God the Father. And then we recognize that we are commanded to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling.
For his own pleasure.
And it doesn't say, till you get it real good. No, it just says, he just says, but now, much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it's God that works in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
That's the fifth or sixth time that you repeat that passage from Paul.
So here we are, June of 2022. We don't know the day nor the hour, but we see the things that they've done. They're trying to form one world government headed by one world spiritual leader. And they just can't stop.
What are you talking about? Now you a conspiracy. What, New World Order? Is that what you're talking about?
They're not willing to do any other thing than this. And
Then
then we
what?
look at it and we say, we got to be close.
What are you talking about? First of all, oh shit, Christ. I don't know. Listen, trying to understand you is like trying to understand how the fucking donkey is doing his thing. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, okay, understand what you're saying. You come in and you come in across like a dumb fuck.
Because that man's not going to appear until we're out of here. We know what's withholding him. We talked about that last night. We know that we are the Spirit, and part of the Spirit, we are the Spirit because we're all one.
Oh, you just said they're all one, and now before is just the world leaders are trying to control. Right? So you're all one spirit, but in the physical world, you're complaining about people being organized into one structure. So it's okay to be spiritually all one, but not in the real world. Hey, you dumbass.
So we're holding it back. But when we go, he comes.
That's a claim that you have to prove, right? You're talking out of your ass, basically.
And then, it's like I say sometimes, I'm not really too concerned with it other than to be able to accurately prophesy to get people interested in not being here, okay? In not being left behind, not being those half Christians, those, I've always thought about it. Because, brother, let me tell you, God has made it specifically clear. He's going to draw the line, and he's going to draw the line sharply in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye.
Really? And it took him 2,000 years to do that. Right? He's going to fix it now in a twinkling of an eye.
Boop. Boop. Just like that. It's going to be over. And I believe I said last night, or prophesied last night, the program's already been written. The program is already distributed.
Many idiots have prophesied things that have not come to fruition. Okay, you just bring a generic. That's it. Or you're saying something that you don't know that it's going to come because you cannot prove it. You're just making shit up.
They're not going to come out and start talking about it and telling people that, we have a program so that when the rapture happens, or they might say, well, if the rapture happens, or whatever they might say. No, they're not going to say that. This is like one of those top secret things that only those select world leaders know about.
Listen, let me educate you. You're talking about the Illuminati, right? You're talking nonsense. But I'm just going to help you out, okay?
And hand down from generation to generation. But the program will not miss, and neither will God, because the program is run by Satan, and Satan is run by God.
All done. That Satan is run by God. If you understand the stupidity of what you just said, Satan is run by God. Okay? It's like, no, it's not like, it's absolute fucking stupid, right? So your fucking God, your imaginary friend is putting Satan to do bad things for you to be good for his own fucking pleasure. Work that one out, you retard. Work that one out. I think you're not even comprehending what you're saying. I think you're going to be looking fucking more stupid when you understand what I'm saying to you. Okay? I'm going to repeat myself again. Okay? So your celestial dictatorship have got a bad person to do the bad things, the bad deed to humans. Right? because humans are going to be influenced by that bad entity. Whose fucking fault is it? By reasoning, right, it is your fucking God that puts people in harm's way by putting a supernatural entity to influence them in a negative way. Now, if you don't understand the stupidity of that fucking statement, we are sorry that you were a Marine. Seriously, because you are dumb fuck.
And God is going to have his rapture, and then Satan's going to take over. And we know that. But we're going to meet in the air. But if
You're going to meet in the air. If we apply the scientific method, no. We are going to rotten in the planet when our lives cease to exist or cease to carry on. We're just going to rotten away. That's going to be a fact. But you think you're going to fucking be like a spirit, but you're going to live in the air. So you're not going to go above the planet, right? You're not going to go above the universe, because there's no air in the universe, only in the planet. Is that what you're saying? Your level of ignorance, yeah, and your ill interpretation of the Bible is fucking some people up in the brain, right? And you are worse than the so-called fucking elite. Okay, at least they do it in your face, but you do it here mentally, right? By making people more stupid. Thanks for Christianity, people are more retard, and you're cool with it.
the Lord tarries another day, or we'll meet here again in the shed.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's fucking enough. Yeah, this guy is a fucking nutcase. He's not one of the worst one, but he's up there. He's up there on the retard level. Okay, he's probably studying the fucking University of the Shed, right? Making his own fucking bullshit claims. But hey, I got a headache just for listening to bullshit. Have you ever been in a place where somebody's talking out of his fucking ass and you say shit? Probably like me, right? You're probably fucking bored of your socks, even if you reached this level, which I appreciate, right? But to listen to that idiot, right, talking about the Bible like if it was fucking true, yeah? This character Paul talking to the Philippians, and he's interpreting that in the current state of affairs. Say, no, look at what it says about us. Now, if you write a letter to your fucking mother, I'm not going to read it and say it's talking about me. Common sense, man. You haven't got fucking zero common sense. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you reached here, thank you very much. If not, fuck it, whatever, doesn't matter. All good. Yeah, another retard. Ta-da.